All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello. Welcome everybody back to Blame Your Brother, episode 261, the one before Christmas. Hopefully you guys are doing good. We are streaming the show live right now on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/blameyourbrother, you can check it out. You know, come hang out with us every Thursday night. We do it, and we'd love for you to show up and support us. But if you missed that, you can catch the podcast every Friday morning on all podcast platforms. There are two of us that come to you every week. I am one half of that duo. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of the people, Glenn Jackson, the spiritual midget, and Mr. Wonderful. And this gentleman sitting over to my left, it's John.
Hey, everybody, John here, a.k.a. Mr. Groupon, Mr. PTI, Mr. Yeah, just a madman.
They got John Tortorella, a madman. They do have madman. Okay, he's a
There
madman.
you go. All John wants for Christmas is more a.k.a.
I need more a.k.a.
All right. Well, yes, like I said, this is the one before Christmas, so we have many things to discuss. We're going to talk about, we both saw the new Spider-Man movie. Hawkeye has ended. We'll give some thoughts on that. Spoiler free. We won't be ruining anything. We're going to rank some of the Spider-Man films, and then we got news stories, and tonight, the Mount Rushmore of Santa Depictions in what? Pop culture, movies? How are we saying this?
Anything that has both audio and video.
Okay. So just Santa. We'll figure it out. Anyway, we're looking at Santa in movies and TV shows. So
TV shows, TV specials.
Right. Yeah. So we'll get to all that. We're excited to do that. So we'll go ahead and let's get started. We like to recap our list, you know, because we've got listeners that now are submitting lists. We got Chris Greger, who's always submitting lists to us. So we're going to go over last week. It was the Mount Rushmore of Christmas songs, okay? So let's get into that. We do have, first off, I will go to the list by Chris Greger, if I can find it here. It's somewhere on our feed, somewhere in America. I will say Trapper Haskins had a bit of an issue with some of our picks, so I'll give it to both of those. So first off, Chris Greger said, here is his list. He had... So I'm going to read what he said first. It's Christmas time, and it's hard to pick 4 songs. But here we go. I lived in Hawaii for a few years, and there's nothing like an island Christmas. So his first one was Mele Kalikimaka. Yes, there you go. By Bing Crosby was his number 1. Number 2, the Chipmunk Song. Number 3, Christmas to Remember by Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers. And number 4, Silent Night by Stevie Nicks. That was his wife's pick. Merry Christmas, guys. So there you go. I like that Bing Crosby song, and you can never go wrong with the Chipmunks, you know, and Silent Night's obviously a great song. But
what did Trapper Haskins have to say?
Oh, Trapper Haskins said, how dare you guys not have, and I'll read his exact quote, I'm sorry, but where's the Pogues, Fairy Tale of New York, or literally anything from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas? So there you go. Sorry we left those off, but you can go back and listen last week, see what made our Mount Rushmore of Christmas songs. Obviously, a lot of Christmas songs happening right now. You talked about going out to the Dancing Lights. I went and saw it this week. Fun experience. We walked in, so we talked about last week. There's so the lights, it's pretty good. You know, it's about I don't know what.
I think it's 2 miles.
Okay, 2 miles, and it's, you know, it goes pretty quick though, and it's cool. If you've never been, it's Christmas lights set to music and everything. As you leave the line, you come to Santa's Village, which is a tent.
Yeah.
With some very shady vendors inside. I'll say that. There's you can get a picture with Santa. You can ride a pony. There's a petting zoo. There's a bouncy, jumpy thing. There's food. We walked in. We walked the entire thing, and we walked right back out because we were going to get pictures with Santa, but my 3-year-old daughter was like, no, we're not doing this. So I do want to say this. I hate the pony rides at these events. I hate them. I looked at those poor ponies, and they look like the saddest animals.
They look miserable, yeah.
And I just think 2021, how is this still being allowed? This is animal cruelty. I mean, you can say what you want. There are specials on Netflix about it. There's the Tiger King, which talks about the cruelty of these tigers being in these cages. These poor ponies are put on this spindle
Yeah.
And they go round and round all day long just for what? I think it should be illegal. I mean, I know it may be like lefty liberal thing, but I just don't like it anymore. I don't like it. I think it's, yeah, we have, whatever, they're animals, but you look at their face, they're so sad, and I know the kids like riding the ponies, and if it was a bigger area and they had more to do, I can understand it. This thing was, dude.
It's rinky dang. It looks like it's max maybe
That's what I was about to say.
maybe like 8 foot in diameter of this circle.
Yeah, for sure.
It was tiny.
It's terrible. These horses, these ponies, man. I felt so bad for them.
I mean, it felt like I could almost touch the ones across from each other if I was in the middle.
I would say you probably could,
I mean, it was tiny. And yeah, they looked like they were like anywhere but here.
Yeah.
I am tired of looking at these people.
That's terrible. So anyway, after this, John, we had a decision to make as a family. Okay, we're going to play a little game here. We had a decision to make as a family, and we were deciding where to go eat in this area. So there's, there's a Logan's.
I got a feeling I know where this is going.
There's an O'Charlie's, and we went to both of those places. 35, 40-minute waits. I'm like, I'm not waiting 40 minutes. I walked into Old Charlie's, actually, into the lobby. I looked at those people. I said, we're out of here. I feel we've caught COVID walking in this place. That was the people in there. So we go to Logan's. My wife goes inside. It's like it's 35-minute wait. I'm like, let's just Shoney's, man. There's a Shoney's right up the street. There's no wait at Shoney's. There's no way there's a wait at Shoney's. So we go inside Shoney's. There's no wait, and there's like nobody in there. All right. Now, if anyone doesn't know what Shoney's is, because some people probably don't, me and John have probably been to Shoney's hundreds of times.
Yeah.
Like we used to.
Together.
religiously go there, Shoney's, this is how I describe it to people now. I describe it if you took Waffle House and Crystal's fast food and you combined the two. That's kind of what Shoney's is to me, okay? Now, look, we go in there. Our server, God bless his soul, he was not ever going to work at a steakhouse, all right? Let's just say this. He takes our drink orders, then he's gone for like 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, all right. Now, I've started getting kind of rude sometimes. Like, he walks back like 20 minutes later probably. He's like, are you guys ready to order? I'm like, yeah, we've been ready. And I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that. But I think it went over his head, truthfully. So here's what we ordered, John. I want you to guess the bill, okay? So we ordered chicken tenders for my daughter, chicken tenders for my son.
Were these on a kids menu or just the regular
So
menu?
my daughter had the kids. My son had regular. And I'm pretty sure, I guess my other son must have had regular because I can't remember what he got. But anyway, my wife had a cheeseburger and I had hamburger steak, which was the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. That was not good. All right, I asked for fries. He brought me a baked potato. At this point, I'm like, dude, we're just rolling with it, okay? This hamburger steak was terrible. And then we got 2 hot fudge sundaes. The hot fudge sundae cake. Now, I got to say, that was bomb. That was fantastic. I would go back to Shoney's for the hot fudge sundae cake. The bill came out. I literally looked at it and I was like, am I on punked right now? Am I being punked at this bill? How much do you think the bill was for that?
$68.
It was $81, dude. And so I was like, I feel sorry for this dude, man. I've got to tip this guy good. I mean, so it's the holidays. I ended up $20 tip. I spent $100 at Shoney's. That is absurd, man. I could have went to any other restaurant and wouldn't have spent $100, dude. No way. You can see now, yes, they're asking in chat, was it in Lebanon? Yes, it was the Lebanon Shoney's. It is one of the worst Shoney's I've ever been to in my life. And I'm not saying, look, I understand it was never a great restaurant to begin with, but this was a terrible. If that was the first time I ever ate there, I would just be like, what is this? This place should be burned. And I almost think it should be burned anyway. But are there any Shoney's left in Nashville that you're aware of?
There's one near my work.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew there was some. Okay. Well, there you go. That's why Shoney's is declining. Because most people I know went for the breakfast buffet when I used to work with people, or people like the salad buffet, but I'm not a salad guy. So I'm like, and it's not great salad. Let's just be real here, So, yeah, that was my experience this weekend. So what about you? What's anything going on the week before Christmas?
Just wrapping stuff up, no pun intended, as far as getting stuff together for for Christmas.
That's your birthday tomorrow.
My birthday is tomorrow.
You have one of the worst birthdays in the history. Like,
Yeah,
I guess being born on Christmas would be equally bad, I guess.
I think it's about the same. I guess the day after Christmas might be worse. Because even as a kid, when people found out that my birthday was Christmas Eve, they thought I was like special or something.
Okay.
So, I mean, that
That's
was
true.
something. But the day after Christmas,
that's pretty rough.
Yeah, there's no fringe benefit whatsoever.
So, yeah, any time during the week. And you've talked about how terrible it is over the years.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, do you feel older? Feel the same?
I mean, I always feel older.
I've learned that I don't know, man. The internet's cruel. You know, like if you post a video, like I post a lot of TikTok videos, and I feel like a lot of the younger people are like, dude, you're 44, man. You look like you're 54. I'm like, all right, bro. I don't really know what to take with it. There's nothing you can do about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even if you were aging rapidly, like, you know, it's just like the cruelty of social media. We talked about this. Like, I'm old enough now not to care. I literally laugh about it now. But like to young kids, to teenagers, to young adults, this thing is very toxic, man. It's terrible.
And they got this thing now where people were asking to be roasted. I'm like, you're gonna walk away from this with the suicidal tendencies.
Could be. Yeah, there's an entire Reddit forum. It's like roast me. I don't know.
There's no way in hell I would do that.
I wouldn't either. Maybe now I would, but like in our 20s, there's 0% chance. I look at confident people, especially when I watch like TV shows where I know it's fake. I'm just like, my God, I wish I could have the confidence these TV characters have. Like it is, even the goofy people have confidence on these TV shows. I'm like, what? I've never been around such confident people in my life, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, you think the most confident person you've ever met.
The most confident person I've ever met would probably be...
Oh, this is going to be good right here.
Sammy Dickerson in The Moment.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Back in the day.
So he was an old friend of ours that when we were at Police Explorers in our teenage years.
He listens to us every once in a while.
Yeah, so he was a confident man. Yeah, it's just rare to meet confidence because some people put forth confidence, but you get to know them and you're like, all right, man. Like, we all put up a brave front, right?
There's other people like that. We went to school with a Philip Eller.
Yeah.
And there's times where I looked at him and was like, man, he looks like he's... And then there's times where I talked to him one-on-one and I'm like, no, this guy's not that...
He's struggling just like the rest of us, you know, and that's good. But you do.
And unfortunately, those times where I actually talked to him one-on-one was after we already graduated. And so I didn't...
Yeah.
I was like, well, I didn't know this before. That should have been nice information to have.
Yeah, so you never know. I mean, that's the whole point. But regardless, we're getting older every day, you know, and there's nothing you can do about it. So, all right, well, I want to talk real quick. I know, man, it's 2021. The year is almost over. But I feel like the news about COVID is like resurfacing, right? I mean, we are back to... I heard a story yesterday. I was listening to the news, and it said 1 in 20 people in London have it. 1 in 20, which is wild. You start to see that sporting teams are being affected by it. I don't know if people pay attention to the NFL, but this week 2 games were rescheduled to Tuesday, where almost half of the team, I think was it Cleveland Browns or the Washington Football Club, half this, like 25 people had it. I'm like, that's crazy. Wrestling now, they found out that a lot of people in the WWE have it. They were affected this past weekend, and it's starting to come back, right? So we're obviously dealing now with Omicron, I think is what it's called. Omicron or whatever it's called. It's the new variant. It's supposed to be not as bad, I guess, if you're vaccinated. But I'm just at the point now. We've done everything as a society. We've done everything as a government. We've done everything we can do to ask people, please go get vaccinated. I think at the point now we can't shut back down, right? I mean, we cannot shut down the economy again for like 3 months or 2 months or whatever. I think there's a point now. It's like, bro, if you have not been vaccinated, I'm sorry. If you get it and you got to go, you got to go. Like, at some point, you can only tell people so many times, like, what's happening. So the variant now, it's in all 50 states. I believe it got here when somebody went to South Africa and brought it back over.
That's how it got to Tennessee.
Well, I heard how it got to San Francisco. Somebody went from San Francisco, flew to South Africa, and got it. So it's probably all like travelers, right, bringing it back over. There's got to be more stringent testing for coming back to America in this time. I'm sorry, this is insane to me. I don't understand how this is being floated. It's wild to me. Like, there are some local shows you can't even go to a local concert without proof of a negative test and vaccination. Yet you can fly to South Africa and come back over here and you're like, that's cool, man. Just come on into the country. What's the worst that can happen?
No, this.
So I don't know. I think from that, and we've spoken on this, it's going to be something we deal with forever. Like, I think it's just going to be like the flu, right? I mean, the severity of it's going to be lessened as everybody gets vaccinated or more people get vaccinated. But it's to the point now, I couldn't even believe I read this earlier, that Donald Trump is attacking Candace Owens for her stance, her false stance on the COVID. Donald Trump is out here telling people he got the booster shot. He got booed at him and, what's the guy's name? Bill O'Reilly are doing like some media tour. I don't know what that's about.
I mean, they deserve each other.
And he's like, yeah, we got booster shot and everything. And the crowd booed him. And so now he's attacking Candace Owens. If you don't know who Candace Owens is, she's a conservative black female who moved here to Nashville. She's talking about, I've been seeing things like she might run for president. I'm like, please let her run for president, because she would never win in a million years. I know we said that about Trump, but I would find it hard that Candace Owens would become president of America. That might be time to get the hell out of Dodge if she did. But anyway.
I mean, you said the same thing about Trump.
That's true, But at least, I don't know what to say anymore, man. But anyway, we have to touch that. It's obviously something that's going on right now, and I'm just encouraging people, if you listen to this, you may not got vaccinated, and I'm sure some people have that listen, just consider it, man. Just consider it for what it's worth. So anyway, okay, let's talk about Spider-Man real quick. So we both saw Spider-Man. What is it called? No Way Home. I get all those confused. Spider-Man, No Way Home. This is going to be spoiler-free. We're not, maybe at some point we'll do a spoiler review of it. But for this, we'll keep it spoiler-free. So we're very excited to see this movie. So what were your thoughts as you left the theater, John?
I really, really, really enjoyed the movie. There was a lot of fan service.
Oh, yeah.
Heapfuls. And if you were, Spider-Man was my favorite person growing up. And to me, he was the only superhero that kind of made sense.
Right.
With his origin story.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the way he carried himself, I love the duality. And to see him first be brought onto the big screen was just a treat for me.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And then to see it come with a couple new iterations, and Tom Holland is just hitting it out of the park.
He's great, man. He is Spider-Man. Like, whatever you want to say, he is the definitive Spider-Man.
Yeah. I would say his depiction of Spider-Man is even better than the cartoon versions as well.
Right.
And so
it's crazy. Yeah. He's really good. I'm with you. I walked out and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a fantastic movie. Fantastic. It is a fan service movie. I took my Nick with me, my 11-year-old son. He was a little bit confused about it. And I think about that. I guess when you go watch a movie, you definitely are thinking your perspective. But then I start thinking, okay, me and John and some of our friends are hardcore geeks as far as comic books. So we were never confused. Like, I never had a moment where I was like, oh, who's that? Who's this? Who's that? But
I was having to tell every time there was a clapping or anything in the audience, my wife was like, hey, who's that? Why are they doing this? And so I had to whisper to her.
I would take a few, not even a few points. But I would, that is one thing I would say. It definitely was made for the hardcore fans, right?
Yeah. And
there's nothing wrong with that. That's sometimes that's how movie making is. If you go see a Christopher Nolan movie, it's not made for stupid people. Okay? It is what it is. If you don't like Christopher Nolan movies.
But as far as comic book movies go as a whole, I mean, there are nods that even people as nerdy as we are will go over our heads.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you can clearly see a license plate in one of these movies, it means something.
That's odd to me, man. People find those Easter eggs. I turn on a YouTube video. It's like, here's 35 minutes of Easter eggs. I went, no, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. That really, I mean, it's cool, and I understand the writers care, and they probably put a lot into it, and they appreciate those people doing deep dives. So I'm like, nah, I'm not, bro. I don't
It's
care
just
that
not
much.
you, yeah.
I loved it a lot, but this brought up my point that I want to talk about. So I would highly recommend you go see it on the big screen.
Yes.
You will love it. Even if you're a casual fan, it's awesome enough. Like I said, and I'm not going to spoil it. I don't want to give away, but it's great. It's fantastic. I want us to rank the Spider-Man movies. All right. Now I know. So
are these going by what we think are good movies or our favorites?
Our favorites. So
Okay.
so we're gonna go. So we got it started all off with Spider-Man. Okay. Then we had Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire. All right. Then we jumped to Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, and we had Amazing Spider-Man 2. Then we've got Homecoming, Far From Home,
and No Way Home.
And then we're going to put Spider-Verse in here as well. All right. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right. So let's start off with let's start best from worst. I feel that'd probably be okay. So we're saying our favorite. And by favorite, I say I look at favorites was the best. Okay, so I don't know how you're looking at it, but I'm not saying critic. I'm not saying a critic's choice. I'm saying your favorite being the best. What do you thought the best product was that was enjoyable?
I mean,
so what are you going with number one?
No Way Home.
No Way Home.
That was my favorite so far.
All right, so I'm going to disagree with you there. I've said it before, and I think it's unfair because it's an animated movie, but I think Spider-Verse is the best one, and it's not really fair. So if we're not including the animated movie, if we're taking that out, I'm going to go with you, man. And I know we just saw it, so I know there's some recency bias, but I'm going No Way Home is the number one. All right. What do you think is number two?
Number 2 is Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay. So we'll keep that. I'll go Spider-Verse number 1, and then you'll go Spider-Verse number 2. All right. So we're pretty close. All right. Whatever. I mean, some people say it's the same movie, but anyway. Okay. Let's get down to number 3, because once you bring up this movie, the one I have a problem with, I'll let you know. All right, so what do you think the next best movie is? So we got
my favorite after that is Homecoming. But a lot of people would disagree with me.
You know what? I'm not one of those people. I would agree with you. I think Homecoming's the next one too. I really do. I really honestly do. All right, so we both got Homecoming in number 3. All right, so what do you got after that?
The very first Tobey Maguire.
Okay. See, here's where we're going to disagree. I like Far From Home better than any Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. All right? So, and here's what I'm going to say about that. Every critic's list I've read has Spider-Man 2 as the best Spider-Man movie. That is absurd. That is ridiculous. I don't know. Any Tom Holland movie is automatically better to me than I never liked Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Never. I equate it to Batman 92. I never liked Michael Keaton as Batman. Did I enjoy the movie at the time for what it was because there was no other superhero movies? Of course I did. I don't look back on it fondly and go, oh man, Batman's the best Batman movie. It's not. Is it one? It's not the worst one for sure, but it's not better than any of the Christian Bale movies. 0. So that's how I look at this. I don't think any Tom Holland movie. So my next one would be Far From Home. Okay. So you've got Spider-Man. So what is your next one? So you've got Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, and both Amazing Spider-Mans and Far From Home left. So what do you think is your next one?
Far From Home.
Okay, Far From Home. All right. Okay, so now we pretty much got the same ones crossed out because no, I got to go up. Okay, I'll put Spider-Man 2 here at this, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know, whatever it is. We'll come up with the later. Okay. What do you got after that? Spider-Man 2? Okay, I think we can start. And I'm going to go Spider-Man, the first one. And we can definitively say the terrible movies on this list are Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2. Now, I would put Amazing Spider-Man next.
That's okay. Same here.
And then what's better? The question becomes, is Amazing Spider-Man 2 better than Spider-Man 3? I say yes.
Yeah.
And I think both of them are a mess. So it's crazy. Our lists aren't really like that far off. But my biggest thing about this is I just don't understand. Are these people that don't like comic books? They're saying what is so great about Amazing Spider-Man 2? J. Rob on Twitter said it's not only one of the best Spider-Man movies.
I've heard people say that, and I disagree.
It is one of the best superhero movies ever made. No. There is a movie called The Dark Knight, bro. Are you really like? And he said that. He said it might be better. I'm like, bro, that's not even the same category. No. That's comparing the NFL to Vanderbilt college football. It is stupid. It is a stupid absurd. I don't know if none of the Tom Maguire movies are even in my top 15 best superhero movies of all time. I think Marvel's made a list of movies that are way better than all those. Winter Soldier's better. Infinity War's better. Iron Man's better. I mean, come on, dude. Captain America's better. Come on, dude. That's like 4 off the top of my head. I just don't understand why people like this movie. Are they looking back on nostalgia? It's kind of goofy. I mean, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the one where he gets like Hollywood, like not Hollywood, but like he starts getting a big head. People are loving him. Everywhere's going. People are taking pictures at him. And that's where he loses his powers, right?
Yeah.
It's all right, man. Once again, I'm not saying I would rank it under like 50%. There's no way you can tell me that's better than Spider-Verse, No Way Home, Homecoming. There's no way. That's ridiculous. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man. And I've heard reports he's done. Now, he may do 1 or 2 more, but he doesn't want to keep doing this, like kind of like probably a lot of these dudes. I think they got into this Avengers stuff and like, this is cool, but a lot of them like, I want out, man. I'm not doing this for the rest of my career.
I think with him being as young as he is, I think he doesn't want to be Spider-Man.
Right.
When he's going to auditions for, The Great Gatsby.
Right.
I
mean, he's going to be a leading man.
Yeah.
And he is. He's got it, man. He's got likability. He's got charm. He's got what it takes, man. I think he's going to do great. And I think we're in a kind of area now where you can be in a superhero movie and still be a leading man. But for a while, that was like a big no-no. It was like, no, you can't do it. All right, well, I just wanted to rank those with you because like I said, man, look, Far From Home, even if that one, or No Way Home, even if it doesn't exist, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not the best one. Homecoming is better than Spider-Man 2. Homecoming's a great movie, man. People say, it's got Iron Man in it too much. And? So what?
Yeah.
Who were the villains in Spider-Man 3, by the way? I was thinking this before I went to bed last night. I could look it up.
Sandman.
Sandman was in 3. Okay.
Sandman, Venom, and Junior
Goblin.
Okay.
Anyway, so big thumbs up for that. Great movie.
I would say that, like, of all the Marvel movies, I mean, I guess the one moment would be Captain America's scene in...
Oh, yeah.
In
Endgame.
Endgame.
Yeah, that's dope.
I think that...
There's a scene in this one.
There's
a few, man. So I'm just gonna say
this one might have that second best scene.
I admit it to people. If a movie gets me and I cry, I don't know why, man. I get emotional watching superhero movies. Like I'm getting like that Captain America scene. I'm not gonna lie, I teared up the first time I saw that scene because I just think I think it's so awesome. This had some emotional weight at the end where I was like having to like dry my eyes. I was like, my God, this is like really emotional at the end.
Yeah.
I was like, and I'm looking around the theater like, man, I don't see anyone else.
There were people in this movie that did some things that I did not think they were capable of, actor-wise.
Yes. I mean, Holland especially. Holland, dude, some of the scenes at the end were, I mean, just amazing. Like, forget a superhero movie. Like, it breaks your heart, and it makes you think, and it also gives you, so, if you haven't seen it, go see it, and let us know what you think about it. So, yeah, I'm a big crier. And this is probably, actually, I don't think I've cried in a while in a movie. I think going to the theater, there's something about that, man. I think it's the huge screen, you got the big audio coming at you, and it just kind of hits you a little bit different. So, I love it. All right, so speaking of wrap-ups, Hawkeye series finale, Disney Plus series, Hawkeye ended. Thoughts on that? What do you think of the series as a whole? Did it do it for you? Did it?
It carried the vibe of an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
And so if you like the Avengers movies, you'll like
Right.
this. It had some comedy beats in it.
Yeah.
But it had some serious beats in it too. Haley Steinfeld she's great. But there's one other character. I'm not going to say who it is, but
I mean, I would say the actress, dude, right? It's well known she's in the movie, dude. She's
I mean,
been,
is it proven
she's
now?
been tweeting it about it.
Oh, okay.
She's been like posting stories about it.
I mean, well,
dude.
you know who I'm talking about. So yeah,
I'll say the actress name. I will not say who she plays. So maybe that will, because if the casual fan won't know what we're talking about. You're talking about Florence Pugh, right?
Obviously.
Okay.
Yes.
Florence Pugh.
I don't think she could do any wrong.
I've told you this, bro. I've been trying to tell you this, man, since I saw. Okay, she's in the movie Black Widow. Okay, so I mean, whatever, man. Like, she was in the movie Black Widow with Scarlett Johansson, and I said she's better than Scarlett Johansson. She blew her off the screen. Her and Haley Steinfeld better get a series together or a movie together or something. That's all I'm saying.
They were incredibly charismatic
Dude.
and magnetic. I couldn't take my eyes and ears away whenever they were on the screen. It's just like
Yes.
I was stuck in.
There's an elevator scene I thought it was the best scene of the entire finale, man. It was. They're so good, like little moments like that.
And there was a little bit of action in it, but not
Right.
very much.
No.
It was just the way they were.
I've told you, man, I'm going to scream it from the rooftops. Florence Pugh is the real deal. I've seen every movie she's in. I will go see every movie she continues to be in. She played Paige, the WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
And she was.
That's the only other thing I've seen her in outside of
Dude,
Marvel properties.
She was great in that.
I know she was in Little Women, but I
Little Women.
I didn't see
She's
her.
great in that. I don't even like Little Women. I was like, I like this version with her in it. She was in Midsommar, she's great in that. That movie, if you ain't seen that one, and you're looking for some like horror, like trippy stuff, that's it. And she's been in something else, but she's the real deal, man. She's got it. So anyways, Hawkeye I thought was great. Another great series by Marvel. They're doing great. I have not seen Eternals yet, so I'm ready to see that one.
I haven't seen it either.
And we're gonna give. Is that the one? Maybe the two. I don't know. I've heard bad things about it, but until we get there,
I mean, as of right now, the one is what, Thor: The Dark Lord?
yeah,
World, whatever.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Which even honestly, it's got Hemsworth in it, so it's not that bad. And it's got Tom Hiddleston in it, so I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to watch Eternals, but anyway. All right, one quick story before we get going. James Franco. Now, are you familiar with this, bro? Like, are you familiar with this guy? I mean, speaking of Spider-Man, he was in Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. Was he in Spider-Man 1?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's a Spider-Man alumni. So he was in a little bit of hot water. I'm going to say this.
I mean, he's still kind of untouchable right now. No one wants to get near him.
Yeah, well, James Franco admits sleeping with students from his acting school. Okay, so actor James Franco has admitted having sex with students from his acting school almost 4 years after sexual misconduct allegations were made. He agreed to pay $2.2 million in July after being sued for engaging in sexually charged behavior towards female students. He went on a podcast, unfortunately not this one. He said he did sleep with students and that was wrong. He said he had not started the school to lure women for sexual purposes. Now, he was like in major trouble for this. So he was allegedly sleeping with the students there. A lot of allegations came. He said they were not accurate. And he said, I suppose at the time my thinking was if it's consensual, it's okay. And then him and Seth are not really talking anymore because of this. And I think that's kind of, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I look at this Me Too stuff. Look, I understand there's going to be overcorrection, undercorrection on both sides, right? And I think, I don't know, we have to define as a society. If you work with someone and you're their supervisor, are we saying 100%, no questions asked, you cannot sleep with these people or you can? Look, if you're making them for job performance, that's wrong. We can all agree with that. They're saying now, if someone is your supervisor or someone, you engage with them in a relationship, it's wrong. I mean, what do you thought?
I mean, it's one of those things. It's for everyone that's not involved.
Yeah,
it looks bad.
I understand that
because I mean, unless you're extra hard on that person.
Yeah, no,
That's the only way. Because, I mean, and it doesn't matter if they're doing it on their own merit or whatever. But if they get any kind of praise, it's gonna seem like, oh, gee, I wonder why you're getting
I mean,
that.
I get that, bro, but I look at it like, is this? I feel it's like almost insulting to women, though. Like, are we not entrusting women? Like, I understand, like with Harvey Weinstein, that's the one we can point to and go, all right, man. Obviously, this dude was sexually assaulting women. He was forcing them up to his hotel room, and he was telling them, if you do not sleep with me, you will not get these movies. I think, to me, boom, that's easy. Like, we can all get behind that. It's rare. I mean, I've met some people, though, that have slightly defended Weinstein. It's very bizarre, and I'm like, okay. Well, he went up to I mean, there are people, no one wants to think this, but there are people that think left, right, and most of us think middle. And I've talked to women, not men, women that said, well, why did the girls go up to the hotel room in the first place? I mean, look, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't matter, right? I mean, like, it doesn't matter. But anyway, this Franco stuff, look, they said he was filming sex scenes. He was encouraging the women to film the scenes. I mean, this is something that happens in Hollywood. I mean, you turn on a lot of movies, there are sex scenes in them, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of women don't want to do them. That's your right. You know, you may not get the part, and their body doubles are used, but I don't know, man. And Franco said he was dealing with some addiction issues and he's kind of reevaluating everything. I'm hoping that he's sincere about looking back on this. And that's my thing about this whole thing. Whatever I think about it. The whole point of all of this is when someone does something that we as society or we as social media society deem incorrect, we've got to give these people a chance to correct and say this is why this might be considered wrong. But I think we also have a dialogue going, maybe this isn't wrong. And like I said, I'm not going to say ever rape. Yeah, rape. Yes, rape, murder. We understand these things are wrong. Like there's no one going around. There's probably a few. But the majority of us are saying these are wrong things, right? I don't know with this one, man. I just think if you're a professor, we're saying professors don't sleep with students. I mean, get out of here. We know they do. 100%. Yeah. Is that wrong?
I mean, if you were in the room, it seems like it's bad.
I guess. But
if you're in that class and someone is sleeping with the professor, you're not going to say,
I mean, I might have a few thoughts about it, but I wouldn't say the guy needs to be like fired from his job. I just think adults can have attractions to each other regardless of title. But that's how I see it. And I understand there's different ways to see it. You know, that's the thing with perspective is that you try to look at everything your perspective, but then you understand that's generally never the case, right? Because I just would never sleep with a professor if it was a female professor to get a better grade. I would just never do that. David would never do that. I would probably be attracted to the professor and want to sleep with them. But I understand a lot of people would definitely sleep with a professor to get good grades, and I have to think about that. So I just think society needs to have more discussions about this and just not go, well, you're done, man. You're never going to work in Hollywood again, and I'm not going to be friends with you. Like, bro, if this happened to you, there's no way I'd be like, yeah, I'm never talking to John again. I would have to have a conversation with you. Like, what happened? Like, Anyway. Well, that was the Spider-Man indirectly correlation there. All right, well, let's go. Let's go to the Mount Rushmore now. It's time. Mount Rushmore of Santa depictions in, let's just say media depiction of Santa. All right, so we're looking at times Santa has made an appearance in movies, TV shows, specials. What are you looking for?
I would say, and it doesn't even have to just be Santa. It could somebody who's acting as Santa.
Okay, yes, that's fair.
In a movie or TV show or whatnot.
Like iconic, good, bad. Because some of mine are.
I think if you have somebody who's Santa and is horrible at it,
right?
But they are a memorable character and it brings entertainment.
Okay, I like that.
That counts. It counts.
I like that. Okay, I like the entertainment thing. All right, cool. Okay, well, let's get going on the list then.
You go first.
I go
believe.
first this week.
Yeah.
Well, I think the one that I like the most, because I'm trying to come in with a soft Santa, a good Santa, because there's a lot of bad Santas.
Yeah.
Okay. I think society's like, let's tear this guy down. No one can be this good. But I look back to an early film,
Oh man, you're gonna take my number one.
Mr. Kris Kringle
Dang it.
in the movie Miracle on
Yeah.
34th Street. This was the Santa we needed, right? It was a time where we really needed a Santa that
You're
was
going with the original, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
bro. I'm not doing no remakes, man. Get out of here. I'm talking Edmund Gwynn. Is that his name? Edmund
Yeah.
Gwynn in Miracle on 34th Street. I mean, I don't even know how long he's in the movie. It's not really that long, right?
No, I mean
He's throughout it, but he's not like the main character, right? Who is the main character of Miracle on 34th Street, would you say?
I mean it's either him or Natalie Wood, but
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking usually when a kid's involved, it is Santa, right? So it's kind of like a two-hander, I guess.
the big plot point for the movie is he's the real deal. He and the Macy's Santa, something happens, he doesn't have his job anymore.
Right.
And so they need somebody, and someone who works for Macy's sees him, is like, look,
You were the
I
guy.
hate to do
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
but can you do this? And he's like, yeah, I could do that.
Sure I can.
And it turns out that he keeps saying he's Santa so much that people were like,
You're nuts, bro.
you're nuts.
Which would happen, right? I mean,
And so he's got to prove himself in the court of law
right.
that he's
I guess
Santa.
he is the man. I guess, yeah. I mean, Natalie Wood. Wow, what year was that movie, man?
Oh gosh,
1950 something, or before that?
maybe it was in black and white.
Yeah, for sure. But it's a Christmas staple, and it does kind of look at what would happen if Santa actually was real. No one would believe it. You know, I've said the same about if Jesus Christ came back, people would be like, "Nah, bro, nah." I mean, number one, there'd be a lot of that's a movie for another day. But maybe that movie should be made. I think it'd be very interesting. But yes, Kris Kringle, Miracle on 34th
I
Street.
mean, and the way his delivery is just he's got like this. He's not the boisterous ho ho.
No,
you know,
no.
he's got this like air about him. Which I mean, if you've done everything that Santa Claus has done,
Right.
you'd have like I wouldn't say he was well to do or anything like that, but there'd be a sense of innate pride in you
Right.
that you
Right.
you deserve a measure of respect.
Right. Yeah.
But he's not like you will respect me either.
Right.
He's got that. He still has that joy in him and that twinkle in his eye
Right.
that is necessary
he's great,
to play
man.
a good
He's great.
Santa Claus.
I need to rewatch this. I haven't seen it in a while, but I just remember that's the Santa I like. I want that Santa. Like, I don't want the other Santas sometimes, but that was the one where it's like
I think in the remake he was just a little too
who
jovial.
who played him in the remake?
I don't
Somebody
remember his
famous.
name.
I can't remember. Anyway, I'll look that up while you're
But
doing your second
he
choice.
was a little too ho ho hoey for me. Whereas
Richard
Gwen,
Attenborough.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
But yeah, that was going to be my number one.
Well,
So well done.
there you go. All right.
I mean,
so
I guess
what,
I deserved that for last week.
So what? I know you grabbed the best Christmas song for sure. Okay. So what is your number one then? John?
Number one. See, I want to do a legit Santa for my number one. I'm gonna go with Mickey Rooney's take on Santa Claus is coming to town for the Rankin Bass
Okay. Yeah, I had that on my
stop motion.
Yeah, that's a good one. I had definitely had that on my list. If you had went number one, I probably would have grabbed this one. That's a good. I love the claymation things. I could watch the claymation stuff all day long, and I obviously I love Rudolph. It's my number one, just favorite one.
Yeah,
That Santa Claus coming to town that's good,
it's
man.
dope. It's got some good songs in it.
Yes. And it tells the story of Santa Claus. You know?
It goes bit for bit, and I mean, obviously, it's not the real legend of the Saint Nicholas, but and the beats aren't like 100% for real, but they answer every little thing we do about Christmas.
Right.
They gotta have an answer
Right.
for.
Yeah.
And so it's a neat little movie. and his motivations are very much Santa-like.
Right.
So
yeah.
I mean,
no, it's a great. That's one you need to watch. Like, I think claymation wise, there's Santa Claus Coming to Town, Rudolph, and then I think that's Frosty's not. Frosty's animated. Dude, I think they've redone some of those. They're really bad, man. Like anyway. So anyways, yeah. That's a good one. I love that one. That's one I can watch all the time. So, okay, Santa Claus Coming to Town is your number 1. Okay, so I'm going to my number 2. So I'm going to pick a more recent one. And I watched this recently, and I was like a little bit like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I watched this movie. I was like, this movie's really good. The movie's called Klaus. It came out in 2019.
my boy does the voice for one of the subordinate characters, Norm Macdonald.
Oh, he does. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
But it stars J.K. Simmons, and the other voice is Jason Schwartzman.
Yeah.
All right. And basically, after proving himself to be the worst student at the academy, a postman is sent to a frozen town in the north where he discovers a reclusive toy maker named Klaus. I don't give too much away, but this is basically an origin story of Santa Claus as well. I think it's very clever. It's very good. It's got all the beats in there. It's similar to Santa Claus Coming to Town in a lot of aspects. But yes, he goes to a crappy town where basically
the whole town is at literal war with each other.
Yeah, and they hate each other. And the only way he can get out of it, so he's got a cushy job, then he goes to his crappy job. And the only way he can get out, he has to deliver so much mail to get out. There's some like uncrazy number. Like if you can deliver 10,000 pieces of mail or whatever, and it just grows from there. I think if you not watch it's on Netflix, it's fun. I'm always reluctant when a new Christmas movie comes out. I go, really? Do we need this? But I was like,
it is a fresh take.
It's pretty good, man.
And so it's an enjoyable movie. If you don't have anything else to watch, it's definitely something to watch. Yeah.
Right. So it's fantastic. J.K. Simmons, fantastic. I mean, J.K. Simmons, another Spider-Man reference, but he is just great in everything. I've never seen a movie where I'm like, this guy's phoning it in. He's one of my favorite actors, without a doubt. So, Klaus, my number 2. All right, John, your number 2.
My number 2 is in a movie. It's not technically a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Majority of the movie takes place around Easter time.
I like this movie. This was actually going to be my number 2.
This is
Klaus.
My as far as cartoons go. As an adult male, I am not ashamed. I can watch this movie anytime, anywhere. The depiction of North is his name, and Rise of the Guardians.
I love Rise of the Guardians, bro. And that's Alec Baldwin doing his voice, and he is a kick-ass Santa.
He's got scimitars. he's Russian.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, he's all over the place. But I mean, there's many sides to him, and it even goes into detail in one scene. It's a rather touching scene with him and another character where he kind of goes through. There's many aspects to himself, but at the core is the wonder.
Yeah.
And I've kind of used that. He calls it his center, and I've kind of taken that idea and I was like, okay, what is the center of this person that I'm talking to? What is my center, and how do they gel?
There you go.
And so,
wow,
I just really enjoy that movie. And you're not going to see another Santa Claus like that.
No,
maybe the closest would probably be Klaus.
Yeah,
but
both big guys. But this one in Guardians will.
Well, maybe. I mean, I guess another like warrior Santa. I guess the Santa depicted in the Narnia movie.
Okay, and I guess you could go Santa Claus invades the aliens or all those crazy movies that are out there. But anyway, I mean, yes. But no, Alec Baldwin is, I know he's under a lot of heat for whatever. I don't understand why, but that's another guy that's just always just.
Everyone in that movie, you forget that's that person.
Yeah, he does great. Yeah.
And so if you're listening to the movie, and when I was watching it with the kids one day and Robin walked in and she's like, who is that? And I said, it's Alec Baldwin. She's like, nuh-uh. And so
it's a great story though. If you checked it out, man, it's them versus the Sandman. It's got
Sandman. Obviously, he doesn't have a voice, but the Easter Bunny is voiced by Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
The Tooth Fairy is Ilsa Fisher.
Yeah.
Jack Frost.
Who's kind of the main character?
Yeah, the main character is.
And who's the bad guy?
Chris Pine. The bad guy is Pitch, aka the
Boogeyman. Yeah, okay.
And that's voiced by Jude Law.
Okay.
So it's loaded.
It's great. It's great. Okay, well, that's a good one. I definitely had that on my list of ones I definitely, because I like that different take on it, but he's still, out there for the kids and stuff. Okay. All right, let's go. Oh, man, this is getting tough. I'm just going to go.
I mean, you weren't really good ones, so yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with one. I think look, it's one of my favorite movies, okay? But the Santa in it, he's a bit of a curmudgeon, okay? He's a bit of a cranky pants.
A lot of people watch that. I mean, when they're going to hear you say this, and they're not going to agree with you. But I agree with you 100% because they need to watch this movie again. When you just remember the movie, you don't remember Santa Claus being this guy. But he's that guy.
He is. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Santa is a curmudgeon old man. And look, I love the movie. And honestly, would Santa honestly be happy year round? I mean, that's a little much. Okay, he'd probably get a little stressed out. He's dealing with these idiot elves. Well, that's what they are. They're idiots. He's got to deliver all the toys in one night. He can't hand in no shenanigans. So is he a little bit cranky? Yes. Should he have apologized? Yes. Should he? You know why I like Rudolph? Yes, Santa's in it, and he's crucial, obviously, to the story at some point. But I think every misfit of society. This is why I love Rudolph. I think every I'm such a misfit, nitwit, or whatever. Look, that movie is a movie made for misfits. If you've ever felt left out and you've ever thought
you don't belong,
this movie's for you. And it's even the Santa version's a little bit kind of like your dad, I would say. If you're growing up, or like a teacher or authoritative figure, like, oh, you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna do it. It's just a slap in the face. I want a version. I say this every year. I want a version where Rudolph's like, I'm out, man. I'm not doing this, bro. I'm out. Go deliver the presents.
Why should I help you?
Why should I?
At this point.
You rid me out of town. You made fun of me. Everyone in the freaking town hates me. You made me go fight. You basically made me go out into the wild. I had to fight these monsters, man. Whatever. But anyway, Santa Claus is in it. It's a different take on it. I like the anime. I do like the stop animation version. He looks very funny. And I guess maybe he's having a bad week. That's the only thing I can say. But I have to put Rudolph in. I have to put it on every list because I love it so much. I watch that one every year. So, all right, that's my number 3. John, what you got?
This one is probably, if I can remember correctly, I believe this is the first movie I saw in theaters. And it is called The Santa Claus. It came out in 1985. And I believe...
What?
The name of the actor that plays Santa is called. His name is David Huddleston, I believe. And it's partial. Part of it. The beginning of the movie is an origin story, but it kind of turns into commercial versus the spirit of Christmas.
You're not Santa Claus the movie.
Santa Claus the movie.
Santa Claus the movie. Okay. I've never seen it.
To this day, I look back at that movie as far as his depiction of Santa Claus, and I smile. He starts out as just a normal guy who's just trying to do, right by people, and there's kids that can't afford toys, so he makes toys. Almost dies delivering toys to these kids in this, I believe it was an orphanage or something, and that's when these elders come in and they kind of give him ways to, these abilities and these powers to where he can do the Santa Claus thing, and it kind of builds from there. But
I've never heard of the Santa Claus the movie. This is like wild to me. I've never.
I mean, there are parts of it that is cheesy, and it gets. Dudley Moore plays one of the elves.
I saw some of the cast. I was like, this is an old movie, bro. It had John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Dudley Moore, the guy you just said that played Santa. And then...
Did I say it right? That was kind of...
Yeah, I think so.
It was a reach.
I think so. I think you said...
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
When you said first you said The Santa Claus, I went, not the Tim Allen movie.
No.
David Huddleston, yeah. It's got Burgess Meredith. I mean,
gosh, yeah, that's
old, baby.
That's a Rocky for those who don't know.
All right, well, hey guys, go check out Santa Claus the movie. I want it Santa Claus the movie is what it's called.
1985 is, I believe, when it came out.
The Santa Claus is a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've never heard of that one. That's a good take on it. Shaped young John.
Yep.
All right, so I'm down to my last one. Man, what can I do here? I've got so many options. Obviously, there's some stuff on there that this was a tough one for me, man, because some of these movies I just don't really like, truthfully. And and some of them don't feature Santa enough. But I guess I'm just gonna go another movie I like. I think it's Santa, kind of funny. It's a comedy. It's Elf. Elf is my last one. Ed Asner as Santa Claus. I like him. I like Ed Asner, obviously. I think Ed Asner is great. And I think Santa Claus was cool enough. I mean, he took in this kid that was not an elf. Obviously, everyone knew he wasn't an elf except for him. And he kind of nurtured him and kind of took care of him. And then finally one day, and I think it's kind of a story about really adulthood, because he's like, hey, I know I'm not an elf. I want to go meet my real dad. And Santa could have been like, no, you're not doing this. Like, all right, dude, go for it. Here's where he's at. He's on the naughty list. Help him. And there's some great scenes at the end where they're in Central Park and they're trying to, because I think the central great things about Santa in these movies, like Miracle on 34th Street and some other ones, is that the belief, is there enough people that believe in this thing that, and it speaks more to, do you believe in the spirit of Christmas, which is the personification of Santa Claus, obviously. So, but yeah, I think Ed Asner's great. And he really, like I said, he's Santa in that movie. I mean, he does great at it, so, and I think he was just kind enough to everyone that you kind of enjoy him. So, there you go. That's my last one, Elf, Ed Asner in Elf. All right, John, your last one.
I feel like I need to.
Are you doing the one I think you could do? Because there was one I was like, I'm not doing it. I know it's on every list.
I'm not doing that one, but
I'm not doing it.
I think that's too far gone.
I do too.
But I am going with a bad Santa, but not that.
You're not
that
the
one.
bad Santa, but
not
a
that
bad
one.
Santa.
This guy, I mean, he turns it on and off. It depends on who he's talking to. He's talking to the kid. He's like, ho, ho, ho. And he'll turn to his coworker and be like, I'm tired of this. I'm like, 9 o'clock, I'm out of here,
Okay.
And just the
oh no,
going with the Christmas story,
that's
the
good.
Santa. I mean,
brother,
that wide angle of him tapping his foot on his kid's forehead.
That is one of the greatest. When I think of movies, when I watched that movie the first time, I never have gotten that scene out of my head. Santa, the wide angle is great. Putting that boot
on his head,
in his face. Ho, ho, ho. That is, obviously, that may be a worse Santa than the Billy Bob. I mean, you say he's good with those kids. I'm like, the kid before the main character.
I mean, he was just crying the whole time.
They literally just put that kid. He's like, get this kid out of here. And they just take him and toss him. I just watched Christmas Story a couple of days ago. And, if we're that may be the best Christmas movie as far as like just the theme of Christmas,
Yeah. I mean, could it have been made today, shot for shot? Well, there's one scene that probably not, but
there's probably a few. But yes, I mean, yeah, the end scene, yes. Yeah. I mean, there's some. I don't know, man. I love it, but yes, that Santa is funny. I'm glad you put that. Yeah. So obviously, and we'll go back over the list. I'm not putting Billy Bob on this list. Man, I just don't. I don't like Bad Santa. I don't know why people love that movie so much.
I get why people like it.
Why?
But he's too far gone. It's the dichotomy. When you think of Santa and you picture him in your head, there is nobody further away than this character. But I mean, it's almost happenstance the way that it's done.
Right.
And it's just too far gone.
Yeah, I know he redeems himself in the end. Blah 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 blah. But and then there's a sequel. I'm like, what sequel? What are we doing here?
No.
Okay. Anyway, so here's the list. My list had Miracle on 34th Street, Klaus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Elf. And then John had Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rise of the Guardians, Santa Claus the movie, and The Christmas Story. Decent Santas there. Just from the chat, Glenn Sawyer said I got to meet Ed Asner. I also have an autographed copy of Elf from him. That's pretty dope. And then people just You'll Shoot Your Eye Out, Kid. Of course, great movie, great Santa.
Any
that is a
honorable
funny
mentions
Santa.
that you?
I had on here. I mean, I don't like the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen, but I know people like them, and it is a version of Santa. Even though
I'm not
Santa
a fan
is
of
killed
Santa.
at the beginning of the movie, so I don't know how you recover from that. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's the plot: is that Santa's on top of a roof, he falls off, he dies. I'm like, okay, that's a little
That
dark.
makes him seem kind of weak too.
And I mean, I guess he was just old. I had Tom Hanks in Polar Express. I thought about going to. It's an all right movie. That's about it, man. I had about 8, and I think he took.
I like the guy from Ernest Saves Christmas.
Yes,
He was really good.
yes. That which is obviously based on Miracle on 34th Street. Very much so. Like, very much.
If there was someone that would regularly take if that was the storyline,
yes,
where he had to be replaced, then yeah.
I mean, because he's essentially, I mean, that's,
He's looking for his
That's a great
replacement,
one. I didn't even think of that, man. I probably would have picked that one. That's a great one. Yeah.
There's a Saturday Night Live skit with John Belushi as Santa, and it's for this product called the Santa Wrap.
Oh,
It's kind of like those things you put on toilet seats.
yes.
But it's for the Santa.
Yes.
And it's his depiction of this drunk off his butt Santa. It's just how.
Yeah, it's obvious. If you watch it now,
yeah.
it's a classic. So
So I mean, Dan Aykroyd in Trading Places, he was Santa for a minute.
yeah.
That's, I mean, as far as, I mean, you have the other cartoons.
Right.
Santa's in Frosty. Santa's in. There was a cartoon of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Made him much more like of an elvish character.
Okay.
But yeah,
Glenda says Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. Don't know it.
I watched it, and to me, I didn't see Santa, I saw Kurt
Okay.
Russell.
Yeah.
So-
Kurt Russell's, he is kind of, you always see Kurt Russell, right? I mean, even if he's a great actor, you still see him. Well, that's it. That's the list. That's so definitely if we miss one, I'm sure Trapper, Chris, let us know. Chris, I would love to see your list for this one because there's not a lot left on the table, brother. I mean, this one.
I mean, his number one's got to be Ernest Saves Christmas, right?
I would guess. I mean, and then he's gonna have to put Billy Bob on there probably, and then we said Tom Hanks and Polar Express. I mean, doesn't get better than Tom Hanks, So and then I don't know, freaking Tim Allen. He'll have to. I mean, I would imagine his list will be Tim Allen, Tom Hanks,
Ernest Saves Christmas.
Ernest Saves Christmas, and Billy Bob. But Chris, blow us away, and Trapper, if you have a problem with it, we'll sure. So yes, this is it, man. The final episode before Christmas. Hopefully you guys all have a great Christmas. Hopefully it's great for you and your family. Wish John a happy birthday tomorrow on social media if you've listened. And, hopefully, your families are together, everyone's healthy, everyone's safe. And like I said, with this everything going crazy, just be careful out there and take care of your family and everything. John, anything you want to add about the spirit of Christmas?
If you're going to buy something.
Oh, God. Go to our website, bybpod.com. You're probably not going to get it till after Christmas, but that's okay. But now I look forward to it, man. This is a great time of year. It's a time when a lot of times I don't really believe in humanity too much, just being honest, but this is one of the times of year where you have some hope.
If someone's going to go out of their way any time of the year to be nice, it's this time of year. And so whatever it is that causes that, whether it be Christmas, whether it be the cold, and you're just looking for some kind of warmth,
right?
Whatever the reason it is that people change during the month of December, then I'm all in.
Yeah. So
there
you go. Just be kind, man. Just be kind. Take care of some people, and that's it. So, yeah, go check out the website, bybpod.com. Buy crap off of there. Go check out past episodes. Tell your friends about it. Let us know what you think about our Mount Rushmore. Share your thoughts with us. Share your feelings. Do all that fun stuff. And, John, with all that being said, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself.
They got John Tortorella.
Woo!
When you complain. Your brother.
I'm off a touch, man. Woo! Merry Christmas. Should we hit another one? What else do we have on this board? Oh, what's this? What's on these? Hold on.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Merry Christmas, guys. And bye-bye, everyone. There we go.